Good, blessed evening to all human beings all around the world. Today happened to be Tuesday, June the 16th, 2020. Time of the vision, time to change. It's about 4:46 p.m. 2020, time of the change. Time for people to wake up. When I say people, not all, some has woken up already. People in the black community, it's time for unity. You know, I wanna give honor to, and I'm not gonna even say their names, but they know who they are. Two brothers, both of them is younger than me. One of them ain't too far behind me. I want to give both of them and their wives high honors for being deeply concerned about the latest incident with me here. And all the other people that was concerned. I want to give honors to them. But I want to just tell the black community, you know, I know there are people that don't agree with me, and there's people that have opinions that I don't agree with. My opinions themselves is they come from my personal observation of things, my personal research of things. It's something that's lacked, L-A-C-K, in some of the black communities, and it's love. You see, if it was love in all the black communities, not just here in Charleston, but all the black communities, then respect would come. If love and respect is there, and then it'll be unity. You see, we'll just say here in Charleston, Missouri, where I'm living at now, you know, you have various groups or various organizations. They choose who they want to vote for. They choose what programs they're going to have. They choose the things that they're going to say. Everybody ain't going to agree with it. You're going to have critics, and you're going to have people that say silence, and you're going to also have people that would agree with you on some of the things. But once we get love in our household, and you got unity in your household, you got respect in your household, then you can take it outside the household. You see, you can't step outside the household and tell the block, well, we need to unite. We need to have peace and harmony among the blacks. We need to show respect, and we need to show love. If you're not showing none of these things. You see, I teach this to my daughters and them because my dad and my mom, even though we came up in Cabrini Green housing projects, we didn't look at this as being no hood or no ghetto, because it was clean as you see it out here. Even though you see my babies and them opening up something and got paper in the yard. But once you able to show respect and unity in your house, then you can come out on the block. Once you show it on the block, somebody gonna pay attention. But then you gonna have some people don't like it because focus on you. You see what I'm saying? Focus on you. And I don't want people to try to read into what I'm saying, because the only one know the point I'm trying to make is God, me. You see what I'm saying? And my children, and some of the people that I communicate in my circle. But if you notice on this block, if you look up and down it, it's clean. It's peaceful. You see, now, if my daughters was out in the streets beating on somebody's door and somebody told me about it, whether they seen it on, whether they could show me on camera or not, I'll look my children in the eyes. If they say no, I'll ask them 2 more times. And if they say no, I don't know whether they did it or not. And you see, I'm gonna discipline my children about that. If my children's walking to the store and disrespecting somebody, I'm gonna discipline my children. One thing my children's gonna have to do, they don't have no other choice. Even when they get grown, if they're in my household, they're gonna have to show respect. You see, respect is, if my children's on the 4th of July, even though we don't celebrate it, and I'm not gonna get into the history of it. If you look back in 1776 of July, you will know what I'm talking about. When I talk about that, some people said I'm talking about racism, but I know what I'm talking about. I'm talking about history. You see, but if they wanna fire fireworks, you know where they're gonna fire them at? If they don't fire them in our yard and shooting it up in the air, not towards somebody else's house, we gonna go somewhere in the country or someplace in the country where ain't nobody around and shoot them. But you know, when you have children leaving from their house, coming by other people's houses, and I've had people come by mine. Some of them you can tell their parents and their parents ain't gonna do nothing. And some of them you can tell their parents and their parents will do something. But you don't need to argue with somebody when your children's coming on somebody else's property, either destroying it or shooting fireworks, because people get injured. It's all about respect. You know, if you disagree with me, it's one thing. But to disagree with me and take it to another level, it's another thing. And I'm gonna tell everybody that consider the things I do is a right step. Some people ask me, how could you squash something when you was unjustly assaulted? I said, easy. I said, sometimes you have to take a step back. You notice God sent me all the way to Chicago. And in Chicago, I was still angry, but I didn't violate none of God rules. When I'm angry, God said it's okay to get angry, but don't sin in your anger. But see, it was a couple of brothers here, and their wives was communicating with them, and they communicated with me. These guys, when they talked to me, they wasn't giving me negative advice. They was giving me positive advice, and I told them I hear them, but I don't. And you know what they did? What Jesus would do and tell his disciples to do. I'm gonna pray for you. You know, even though on that trip, it kept on coming in my head what they said. But then other things came in my head. When you get off track with God, anything can happen. You see what I'm saying? And I thank God that he allowed these two brothers here to talk to me when it happened. And then when I was in Chicago, people talked. And then when I came here, a brother that was down here to bury one of his kin people happened to be heading back to Chicago and talked to me and squashed it. But I can't tell somebody what to do if you're assaulted. But I can tell you one thing, use wisdom. You have to protect yourself, and I don't want any youngsters or anybody else to think because I let this here go, that's something you should do. It's nothing right about that. It's nothing right about that. You see what I'm saying? It's nothing right about anybody attacking an elder under any circumstances, but it's still not right, period, that anyone attack somebody physically because of their views. You see, a lot of people ain't gonna like my views. You see, but the thing that happened to me, and I'm gonna let y'all see something, show you how God works. You notice I ain't picked up arms, and that was my MO back in the day. That was my MO. You know, 4 times in the penitentiary, all 4 of them was violence, using a gun. 2 of them, 2 people died. Nothing that I'm proud of. You see what I'm saying? But God allowed me to not even do this. He allowed me to let this happen to show the world that's watching my YouTube videos that the law enforcement and the justice system in Charleston, Missouri has not been working for me and my household. You see, if it was working for me and my household, this wouldn't have never happened, or other things would have happened. But you see, now I let it be known that I'm not going to go to court. And if they subpoena me to go to court, then if they want to get me for attempted court, then my daughter would take care of my children's and my daddy until they decide to let me out, because I'm not going to testify. If the police didn't do their job when it happened, that goes to show you they don't have no respect for me. If the leaders in this town that call themselves the Unified Coalition Against Violence in Charleston, Missouri, if they didn't step in, they show what they think of me, because I don't agree with them. If you got a sheriff department and a police department and they didn't step in, what do they show you? Now, if Raymond Lewis Ivy would go do anything, video the wrong person, let alone make any type of physical contact with somebody, Raymond Lewis Ivy is finna be locked down and probably don't have a bond. But I want to encourage you youngsters out there to look at this incident. You know what? Sometimes God allows something bad to happen for the good. And the good came out of it is to show you you don't have no legitimate leadership here in Charleston, Missouri. Because if they did, even if they didn't care about me, they'll care about my 2 daughters and my daddy. And this ain't even about me. I'm not the only one in this town that's not getting equal justice up under the law, from the courthouse down to the police department and the sheriff's department. And it ain't all the police. It ain't all the police. But I'm going to tell y'all something. Blacks unify. You need to get rid of your chief of police, get another chief in. It's about 1 or 2 police up there you might want to keep. Get rid of the sheriff and get another one. Get another one. You see what I'm saying? Give another one a chance that's going to enforce the law. The law wasn't enforced on June the 9th, 2020. It wasn't enforced. Other law enforcement officials see it wasn't enforced. And even though this is squashed, but I'm just trying to save some other youngsters. Don't run up on nobody and hit them because you don't like what they're saying. Because you can maybe get killed. I'm trying to save your life. You see what I'm saying? Don't go and do something that you would regret in the long run, because sometime you may assault somebody that may know somebody, that may know somebody, that may know somebody, and a whole bunch of people die. For what reason? Because one person did something that they shouldn't do. Did. Black folks in Charles, Missouri, let's unite. I'm not going to be a part of now an organization or group here that's here now. You see what I'm saying? I don't want to march with them, but I will tell you this here. I do want to see unity. Peace, be still.